The iPhone 17 Pro Max is probably the most controversial iPhone of all time. Many hate the new design, others say it's the best update in years. I have used the device daily for almost 2 months and I will tell you honestly now what is really good, what Apple completely messed up and if it's worth switching. For years, Apple has been criticized because iPhones look the same every year and many find the old design boring. Now Apple has dared to change the design and apparently many people do not like that either. Personally, I see it differently. The design is, of course, a matter of taste, but it definitely looks new and different than before. Still, it keeps the typical iPhone look, mainly because of the 3 cameras. I especially like that the design is also functional. The new unibody aluminium frame moves heat out of the phone much better. That, combined with the new cooling chamber, ensured that this iPhone did not get unpleasantly warm a single time in the last 2 months. The disadvantage of aluminium compared to the previous titanium, however, is that it is not as hard. The grade 5 titanium from the iPhone 16 Pro is twice as hard as the aluminium in the iPhone 17 Pro. On the internet you see really extreme cases, so you might think that the iPhone 17 Pro Max really has problems. But with such reports you always have to be very careful. They are mostly used for quick headlines and are not always very realistic. According to the YouTuber Cherry Rig Everything, whose job is to scratch smartphones, the case is still very resistant to scratches. The only real weak point are the very sharp corners of the camera bump. These can scratch faster because the color does not hold so well there. If you like to use your iPhone without a case, I recommend the silver color, where scratches are hard to see. I personally use my orange iPhone 17 Pro Max at home often without a case and have not had a single scratch yet. You can clearly see that Apple is positioning the Pro models more as professional tools and less as lifestyle accessories, as was the case with earlier iPhones. The iPhone Air is supposed to be the slim and elegant model for design lovers, while the Pro models are built for professional users and power users. This direction is also shown in the features that Apple has recently introduced specifically for the Pro models. That is why some of the new Pro features like ProRes RAW and Open Gate have no added value for normal user who only consumes social media, CarPlay and music on their smartphone. Still, the iPhone 17 Pro Max also has advantage for normal users. One of the biggest is the battery life. It is really phenomenal. I end my day in everyday life with about 40% charge left with 4 hours of screen time. It is definitely a bit more battery than the iPhone 16 Pro Max. I never had the feeling that the battery life was too short. The iPhone 17 Pro Max charges with up to 40 watts and reaches about 50% battery in 20 minutes with a cable. I usually charge my iPhone with a MagSafe charger. There it charges with 25 watts, which is pretty fast for wireless charging. Next, I want to talk about the camera. The camera is very important to me personally because I always want the highest quality in photos and videos. Unfortunately, there are only a few smartphones that take both very good photos and videos. The iPhone 17 Pro Max is one of these smartphones. This year, however, we have the 4x zoom camera instead of a 5x zoom. In return, the telephoto camera now offers 48 megapixel. This means you can zoom up to 8 times and still have 12 megapixel image quality. The photos from all 3 lenses are really very good, especially if you take raw pictures like me and edit them in Lightroom afterwards. You get results that no longer look like a smartphone camera. Even without RAW mode, photos look very good in all lighting conditions. Photos are saved in 24 megapixels by default. Most Android smartphones have cameras with more megapixels, but they still save photos in 12 megapixels by default. I often use the camera control button, which was also in the iPhone 16 Pro, to quickly open the camera app, but not at all to zoom or take photos. I find it's not the right position to take photos comfortable, neither in landscape or in portrait mode. Also, the pictures often look shaky when I take photo with the button. A really good camera update is the new front camera. It now has 18 megapixels. You will notice a difference, especially in a direct comparison, but it's not a huge world of difference. The real highlight is the new square sensor. That means you can take photos with the selfie camera in both portrait and landscape format without having to turn the phone. Also, the front camera has a wider angle, making group selfies much better. Another highlight of the iPhone 17 Pro Max is the display. With up to 3000 nits peak brightness, I no longer have any problems seeing my screen content even in direct sunlight. Thanks to the improved heat management, the peak brightness now stays high for much longer, even at higher temperature. Apple has also given iPhone an anti-reflection coating, but unfortunately it's not as strong as the one on the S25 Ultra. You only notice the difference in a direct comparison with the iPhone 16 Pro. But in my opinion, the best improvement to the display this year is Ceramic Shield 2. At first, I thought the 3 times better scratch resistance that Apple advises was just poor marketing. But according to the scratch test by Cherry Rig Everything, the display really holds up much better against scratches thanks to Ceramic Shield 2. It is so scratch resistant that you actually don't need a screen protector anymore with normal use. Some people get headache at low display brightness. The reason? Most smartphones dim the screen by quickly turning the light on and off. This is called pulse width modulation. This fast flickering is not visible for naked eye, but can cause headache for sensitive people. The iPhone 17 Pro Max now offers a solution. Under accessibility, display and text size, you can turn off PWM. The display is then dimmed in a different way without the stressful flickering. A category that is often underestimated is the speakers. And here the iPhone 17 Pro Max is far ahead of the competition. The sound from the speakers is louder, but also richer, and especially with lower tones, you notice a big difference to all other smartphones. The speakers are so good that I use them in the bathroom while showering to listen to podcasts or music. Like every year, Apple is leading with their processors, and this time too. The A19 Pro chip is the most powerful smartphone chip on the market. Accordingly, performance was not even close to being a problem. Let's briefly get to the software, iOS 26. Some love it, others cannot do anything with the new style. The new liquid glass design is of course a matter of taste. I personally like the fresh look and find that iOS look more modern because of it. Something particularly positive I noticed is that the system runs much smoother and more stable overall than at the start. With the update to iOS 26.1, many bugs were fixed. Since then I have not had any crashes or freezes anymore. Overall, I'm really thrilled about the iPhone 17 Pro Max. It's not perfect, but it comes very close to my needs. Anyone currently thinking about buying a new iPhone is definitely making the right decision with the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!